Hey everyone, welcome to Chroniclecraft. I am your DM Dustin, and this is the Astral Odyssey. You'll be joining this campaign after the prologue planet they had started on. We'll be doing a quick recap with the full crew, where they kind of go over some major events here at some point, but I think you'll be able to catch on pretty quickly to what we have going on here. I will give a quick primer though, so we can drop you right into episode 1. You're going to be joining the crew of the Sacrificum Soleil, a pirate crew that has had a streak of poor luck, but has lots of determination and has come to see each other as a family. After the events of our prologue, the crew finds themselves in the far-flung reaches of the Astral Ocean, accompanied by a galactic elemental dragon. What is this dragon? Why was it created? And what's going to happen to the crew? We're going to have to find out and go on that journey together, so get ready to join the crew of the Soleil. Astral Odyssey contains mature themes such as raunchy jokes, intense combat, and colorful language. Everything you'd expect from a space pirate crew. Viewer discretion is advised. With that being said, let's get started. Who would like to give us a recap of last session? How's everyone doing on inspiration?
I have inspiration.
I have one as well.
I still have the one. I think I don't. I think it
I
might
don't
be
either.
me. Then, yeah, I think you and I are the only ones who don't.
We can do a funny thing next time if one of you two does it.
Yeah. Would you like to, Anna? Would you like me to?
I mean, I can try to. I know last session it was a lot of RP stuff. I know that we did get moving and we decided to start heading, map perspectively west. Or at least the perspective I had my map on. I guess I should have specified, sorry. But we had made our way to one of the arms of the galaxy, basically. And we're still trying to figure out what to do with Kai.
Your little dragon child. Anyone, or do you have any other specifics of things that happened last time, or anything that you feel like was important?
Oh, last session was a rough weekend, so my notes are a little rough, unfortunately. I'll have to...
Aster almost killed himself trying to ride a bike.
We did almost accidentally kill the captain. We put her in the chamber and tried to suppress the spores in both of us. And it worked for Dee Dee. Dee Dee felt, a little bit of relief from her infection, but it did almost kill the captain. Believe what happened is that as the spores were suppressed and the bone spores began receding back into her skin, she basically had these holes in her skin from the bone spores receding back. And little Dee Dee looked at Kai and, kind of this telepathic communication they have on instinct, please save the captain. And Kai did the unthinkable and basically breathed in the spores and,
Yeah, his main food source.
Healed the captain.
The small child with, 8 moons orbiting him that just eats those spores. Yeah, and also, Aster almost died on the bike. That's correct. And Alowin had a talk with Nadi about her being the last of her people after her planet was destroyed. Oh, and Ash, had a bunch of contracts too that got signed.
I'm going to start a cult, Miles.
What every
I
good
do
pirate
see
does.
that, actually. If I scroll down, it says Ash contracts on my notes.
Tee hee hee.
I've got a good offer for Kool-Aid if you want any.
I'm here about your soul's extended warranty.
But yeah, we just kind of did a lot of RP stuff, some catching up with the crew and stuff like that as you all were heading out on about a 2-week trip to get to one of the closest arms of the Astral Ocean here and try to find a planet to hopefully get some supplies and some ways to either ditch this ship and get a new one or retrofit this ship so it's non-recognizable anymore. I think the last thing we did was you all did the VR machine aboard the aboard the ship for a quick tutorial. We'll say that game is on pause currently. If you all want to jump back into it at any point, we can. But for now, we'll say that the majority of that 2 weeks has passed. With some of the activities that you all said that you had done before. I believe Alwyn was learning how to pilot the ship and the bike, correct?
Yeah, the shuttle ship and the bikes.
Yeah. And
Which
Aster,
I got 4 out of 5 on both of them.
Yeah, you're almost proficient with it. You've been putting a lot of practice into it. Aster tried to as well with varying results.
Yes.
And then our first mate Ash was getting contracts signed with other patrons and stuff like that. Dee Dee was experimenting with a bunch of the stuff aboard the ship that the sorcerer from the planet Philip J. Lancaster.
Well, we also painted the ship black.
You did paint the ship black, yep. And wrote Sacrificium Soleil on the side of it.
Yes, yes.
So you do have some layer of protection now, but any thorough scan would pretty quickly peg you still. Is there anything anyone else was wanting to accomplish during that 2 weeks, or are you all right with fast forwarding to you all getting to your first group of planets here?
It was requested of Dee Dee that she manufacture some ammunition for Alwyn.
Yeah, for sure. You are getting quite proficient at this. You make these bullets a lot more consistently, and as you get more comfortable with it, it gets easier to do. So give me a tool proficiency with sleight of hand. So this is going to be your intelligence plus your proficiency bonus.
You might make me roll different because he specifically requested silver bullets.
That should be even easier than making spore bullets because you have the molds anyway. It's just using silver and loading. What are you loading the charge with? Is it Zephyr spores or gunpowder?
Alwyn, if I give you the Zephyr spore ones, they'll pack more of a punch. Was it more of a punch or do they get better range?
I believe it's range. The Zephyr spores get better range on them because that's the just air powered.
Yeah. Alwyn, are you alive?
Yes. Sorry, everything went dark for a quick minute, and then everybody came.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I guess we
And everybody came.
Then they
You guys
came.
later at the weekly orgy.
Even the dragons.
I'll make it so back.
Okay, so
Even.
unfortunately, while he's dying, let's just go with he said yes.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening here.
So you said it was my toolkit proficiency?
Yeah, so what you're going to be doing is just rolling 2d20, and it's a +7.
2d20 plus 7, okay.
Yeah, because
Plus 8.
you have the tools to make bullets now, which is I'm counting as a toolkit.
Okay. So I rolled an 8 and a 19 plus 7, so 27 plus 7, so 34.
You rolled a 19 plus 7?
Oh, I thought you said it was 2d20.
No, you don't add them together. It's
Oh, my bad.
it's advantage, yes. You just took the higher of it.
Listen,
No,
I
it's
don't
fine.
mean to be
It's
dumb,
fine.
okay?
So 26, I believe is what that is. And yeah, with a 26, that is much easier to do than doing the whole, like, glass vial for your, like, water release system, like, that you're used to doing. This is just pouring hot metal into a bullet shape, and you can do that in spades. So I'll say that you can pretty easily knock out, like, 20, let's call it 20 shots.
Perfect.
That are
Yeah,
safer.
I still have a couple spore rounds left, and I think the captain has 1 or 2 left. So next downtime we get, I will replenish those for us. But you did request those, so.
Now, your stores on this ship are almost non-existent for spores. He has some midnight on here, But for other oceans and stuff, there really isn't. Like, there's a small fridge with like a couple sample containers.
But our baby has.
I was about to say, yeah, but you have Kai, which has these spore moons. But it is something where you will be taking kind of away a toy from a toddler to kind of milk the planet, as it were, or the little orbiting moon.
Milk the child.
We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I have enough IRL experience with kids that I can figure this out.
Okay. I mean, there are 8 of them. You should be able to sneak one away every once in a while, but yeah.
Listen, you can't tell me that IRL kids are not little dragons themselves, okay? Like, I've got this. It's okay.
But also, really importantly, is that now you have access to all of the different spores. So even ones that you hadn't really messed with too much before, like bone spores you've never seen outside of the captain. So you don't know like how they operate if they're just in their like natural form. But you have access to Rosite, Gold, Zephyr, Midnight, Crimson, Verdant.
Am I alive? Am I here?
Are you?
I don't know. I've been hearing you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
No worries. All right. So that was what Dee Dee was going to be doing a bit more. Anyone else have any 2-week activities you were wanting to try out? I know Hank was also deciphering the books, correct?
Yes, I was spending a lot of time just cursing why I picked the languages that aren't ever used. Why do I have a core degree in goddamn Fae bullshit? Who even speaks Sylvan?
You could get to an area of the Astral Ocean with a planet populated by Sylvans. It's not impossible.
Yeah, but Hank is just using it as a chance to complain. 3 years in a university course, and I picked the one elective that they said, "Oh, you need to learn Draconic. It's going to be super common." It's like, no, apparently it is.
Imagine not taking the public school offered Draconic course.
Like,
you already got some
entire
information out of that
galaxy.
book, though, correct? Some like names and places of things that super don't matter anymore now that that planet is destroyed. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ash.
No.
Sorry, yeah, Aster, go ahead.
So I spent like most of my time here alternating working on trying to figure out the bike and mostly failing and just working with the crew. Can I just get like a general vibe check for the crew?
Sure.
Like,
give me an insight check. I'll let you add the crew's loyalty bonus to this, actually.
Insights +3. Jesus. That's I believe a 15.
15? Okay.
Oh, sorry, 16.
16? It's actually a 15 because I just remembered that you all were getting a +1 for chef's meals, which you are no longer getting right now.
Correct.
Yeah, well, I don't have a kitchen.
True.
You have deep fried Oreos that could work.
Don't
Can't
have
you
any
turn something
yet.
in out of deep fried Oreos? I thought you were a chef.
No, you could turn this into some green stuff.
Actually, quite a few of these loyalty bonuses might be gone because you don't have sheets anymore, and Aster isn't giving sermons anymore.
Well, depends on how quickly the bonus runs out. We've only...
That's true. Okay, but yeah, what was 15 total? The crew seems in pretty good spirits. Everyone's mostly trying to kind of keep themselves busy, and it's harder to do on this boat. Like this kind of just runs itself a lot more than the Crow Song did, you know? Like it just has its auto course set. There's no like active sail like setting and no like deck scrubbing, or everyone's just kind of taking opportunities they can to get like target practice in, but it's it's a crew sitting on its hands is what you're seeing, and after everything that happened back on the planet and escaping and this new like super powerful child that a lot of them are still kind of nervous around. Like a lot of the crew members don't do too much with Kai. There's a couple that have like bonded with Kai for sure, but yeah, you're just feeling like a general like let's do something.
Okay.
Ash or Aster? Or sorry, Allowood?
Well, I don't want to be too greedy. I was already working on a lot of riding skills. If you want to, I mean, I'll take more.
I mean, yeah, just like you're not spending your entire day doing. This is just mostly whatever else you want to get accomplished before we're at the end of this 2 weeks. So.
I got nothing.
Okay, Ash.
I think other than kind of corralling people, mainly focusing on the people who he got contracts with, like showing them magic and spells. So we have Boy, we have Rog, and we have Strega so far. So showing them how magic works and basically bestowing like the basic cantrip fundamentals, starting off with really meager things like Mage Hand and Message, really things that like just kind of the fundamentals of how magic can function as a warlock.
Sure. I think that sounds like I'll call that either persuasion or a performance.
Oh boy, I think those are exactly the same. But we're gonna go with persuasion because that sounds cooler.
Could I offer Alwyn a suggestion?
What you got, short stack?
Do you want to maybe look around the ship and come up with a place and some plans where you and Dee Dee could build a galley / kitchen? Because I imagine it would take some time to do that.
We also have to get the equipment.
Also, point of order, excuse me, for you, God. Am I capable of guidancing myself for something like this activity?
Sure.
Okay, I imagine the guidance looks something akin to like a flare of fire, or even though something like Mage Hand or Message, not necessarily fire around it, but there's this kind of flourish of different colors of flames, mostly golden, as the magic surrounds them. And that's going to be a total of 14 persuasion.
Okay. For sure. You can get these people started. It did take a bit of finagling just to get them like to sign up for the most part, at least for 2 of them. But your others took to it pretty quickly. So we'll say that. Sorry, I'm looking at their character sheets right now. Yeah, we'll say that Boy and Rog, you can make both of them. You can change their their class into Warlock if you want, or I'll let you multi-class them, and their level 3 can be a Warlock.
Yeah, we'll make them multi-class. We're all gonna be multi-classers. Every one of my XCOM squad is going to be a multi-classer, just like me.
Oh, sorcerer warlock. All right. If that is it, then we will.
I will work
a
a little bit, at least kind of get an idea of where to maybe stick a kitchen.
Sure. If you, this is your all ship. Find an area on it you think it would work. Like this entire center part where it's a bunch of video games and stuff can all totally be moved pretty easily. But you also have a lot of space in the cargo hold. You have 2 walls that can be kind of knocked out and accessed some extra space on the wings. So you've got options.
I don't have a token.
I'll drop you one.
Thank you.
Yeah, we might just expand into one of the wings. For a kitchen, at least.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. There you go. We'll actually go through and add some kitchen stuff and like reorganize that a bit. But we don't have to do that right now. Okay. So yeah, you start getting your kitchen area set up. You don't have anything to really put in it yet, but you at least can clear out the room and knock out that wall with some help of some of the crew and get things started. And with that, we'll end your all's little period of travel there. You got a bit of a break after everything that happened previously on the planet. Finally getting a chance to get some R&R for better or for worse. You all are a bunch of pirates. It's R&R isn't really a good thing for you all most of the time, as you need to keep moving. But after 2 weeks of travel, on your long-range scanners on the Sacrificium Soleil, you start to see some stars into the distance that are close enough for you all to start approaching them and getting to where the different planets are within it. This far out in the galaxy, there are a couple stars that have nothing in them. They'll have like giant rings of dust, like just proto-planets just in their early formative years. There's a system somewhere over, to your all's far, far left where it's just a single gas giant orbiting it, and that's it. Like, you don't see anything else, no moons or anything. There is a planetary system with what looks like 7 or 8 planets, though. That is relatively close. And a couple of those do look habitable. So that is probably your best bet to get closer and start scanning to see if there's, any population centers or anything that you all could set down in. So the captain gives the order, and you all start heading towards that star.
Good question, DM.
Yeah.
I know that on our ship we have essentially like TV connection, but how common is that, like in the universe as a whole?
For most of the areas, Hank would have been pretty common. It was incredibly uncommon, back on Lumar, just because it was such an outer world. Pretty common in the core worlds. This far out in one of the arms, it depends on kind of who's in control of what and where. It could be highly technologically advanced. It could be halted at different time periods. It all just kind of depends on how connected it is.
Okay.
It's another good reason to stay out in these outer arms, because that kind of information can travel a lot slower out in these parts. But as you're traveling, one of the first planets that is orbiting closer to you all from around the sun as you're making your way through this large spiral galaxy, the star that you're looking at through the view screen of the Sacrificium Soleil is off and over to your right, and it's a soft kind of amber blue on the core, but radiating out to a yellow. It's a very calming sun overall, and it kind of gives a just kind of a blue tint to all the planets that are facing it all the way around. But one of the first planets that gets close enough is the fourth one from the sun. The other one's way out on the opposite side of the star in a very slow orbit on the very outreaches of it. You all are able to kind of intercept this one on the course that you all were in. And scans determine that there are not many population centers, but there is activity down there. So would you all like to get closer, search other planets? You're kind of just making your way through this area, looking for a place where you can resupply and stuff. So are you going to try to look specifically for high populated centers, or kind of these more backwater places? What's the plan?
Dee Dee's vote would probably be for one of the more backwater places. Like, our bounty's really high, yeah, but we'd be less likely to not necessarily be noticed because we're in a super recognizable ship. But if it was only a couple of us that went down there,
Also, if we're going into a more decentralized area, making a getaway is going to be a lot easier. The response time is going to be much slower.
Well, it's easier to hide the ship just because not everyone is going to be like in every area compared to like someplace urban.
And just to be clear mechanically how these scans are working and everything, because this, it's not Star Trek, it's still D&D. What effectively is happening is the ship has a complicated onboard system array that is, like I said, for how all your computers work, kind of really complex arcane tablets. And what it's doing to scan is effectively like a scrying spell, but it can only do things that it has a visual on. So it can't see like a planet, or it can see a planet, but it can't see like an individual city on the surface of that planet, So it can get a really far out view with the scrying that it's doing and display that on a screen that's linked to the scry orb, but it can only translate what it can actually have line of sight on, more or less. But yeah, I think the captain generally agrees with you all as you all are kind of traveling. It's still, the better part of a couple of days to make your way into this planetary system and then start making your way towards this kind of outer little tiny gray world with that blue tint all over it. The backside of it kind of looks like a moon almost, but it's too large to be a moon, but it is that kind of cratered, dusty looking surface over it. But it does show activity. It does show that there is energy down there somewhere. Effectively a detect magic spell can show what is heating up on the planet for areas where there could be magical equipment or items or energy. So the captain gets kind of the final say from everyone and says, all right, I guess we can try to check that place out. Who's comfortable with the shuttle? We're not taking the whole ship down. I think we should try to stay on the dark side of the planet if we can.
My vote is anyone besides Aster.
I got some hours behind the stick.
All right. I think I'll stay on the ship because I'm not letting Kai go down there, and I'd rather have someone who can handle themselves up here with him. But if I think there's an extra seat on that plane if you all want to take someone else with you.
Dee Dee nodded. I'll go, Captain.
No, you're taking the shuttlecraft, so it can fit all 5 of you plus one more. It can sit 6 people in it.
Why don't we take Dimitri? He
Man.
could use some fresh air.
I'm all for taking Nadi. She's already been our away team for most transactions.
I am too worried that Dimitri is not in a good place mentally and may be more of a burden than a help.
The obvious choices are, indeed, as you say, Nadi or one of the first mate's crew, to call them.
Dee softly shrugged. Well, I agree with you that Nadi is the most logical choice. Our goal is to blend in. If we show up with a native from a planet that's now destroyed, it would raise a lot of questions.
Well, I mean, that's a valid point, but also, amongst the traveling places, seeing different races ain't all that unusual, like. I mean, I'm gonna probably stick out more of a sore thumb anyways, but I have means about that.
Such will be true wherever we go. Would you consign Nadi to the ship for all of time?
I'm sure we can give her like a sombrero or something like that. With,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
well.
Dee kind of looked at Nadi and then, or Dee kind of thought about it and looked back at the other two and said, at least give her a scarf or something. And then she kind of shrugged and looked at the computer monitor.
I've already given my suggestion.
Yeah, so
What was that,
who are y'all
Ash?
bringing?
I was just saying I've already given my suggestion.
Well, Aster's voting Nadi.
I will be voting Nadi as well.
2 votes for Nadi. Anyone else like to weigh in here?
Oh no, I mean, I already said Nadi, so yeah, just at this point, just go ahead and grab her.
Okay. That's enough votes, I believe.
That would be 3.
That's more than half the party.
Wow. And yeah, I guess we'll try to grab some type of, basic face covering for her to use.
I mean, ultimately, Dee wouldn't care either way. She just wanted to point it out.
Sure. You would also know that you didn't know what Nadi's people look like before you got on the planet, so it was a still pretty new planet, and yes, it is on the news right now, but it's not necessarily that she'd be pegged to be. There's a lot of different weird creatures out there, so there's a wide spectrum of very odd looking, what most would consider alien life. So.
True.
All right. Well, you all get the boarding party. Someone goes and tags Nadi, who gets up and seems kind of excited to get off the ship for a bit and go do something. So she's very quick to get up and get a pack ready with her healer's kit and a couple other things, some focuses she might need for spell work and stuff like that, and loads onto the craft with you all. And Alwyn, you take off and leave the Sacrificium Soleil, making planetfall to this small gray little moon.
He doesn't have proficiency yet. Can we get an athletics or an acrobatics check?
I was just going to let it happen, but yeah, you can absolutely get that.
Somebody is stingy.
Alwyn, give me an athletics check.
Alright, it's not giving me a dice in the on Tailspire, so okay, we're gonna leave it to you can leave it to the.
It's probably because I wasn't on that board. There, it should let you do it now.
Alright, what am I rolling for? Sleight of hand, you said?
Athletics.
Athletics.
I believe in you.
That's gonna be a 12.
12. Okay. With a 12, you have been practicing, but you've been practicing in free space, and making a atmospheric entry is a very different ballpark, which is why it was a different skill for you. Since you don't have proficiency, yes, you still got to use something though. Oh gosh. With a 12, you start making your way towards the planet. And as you do, you are able to see what looks like, honestly, what you thought was gray cratering and like dust and stuff like that turns out to be massive junkyards. This seems like a huge junkyard planet. Like a lot larger than a moon, about the size of like planet Earth. It's just a massive thing of graying, rusting, rotting metal all over it. But you do see a populated area where there, you notice a couple ships have been docked at certain places, but there is like a parking area more or less for ships to come on world and offload stuff, and it seems like the main hub where all of the like auto ships are coming back to start moving out junk into different parts of the planet, and you all make your landfall there. It is pouring terrain as you all step off the boat. It is incredibly tumultuous getting through it, but with a 12 you are able to safely land, even though it is a bit bumpy and not graceful looking at all. It looks like you're an inexperienced pilot when you're landing. But you all make your way to the planet. It is incredibly gray and dour, and it's hard to breathe. Like the air tastes like rotting metal or just rusting metal and like old rubber and just decomposition all over, and everyone has to like scrunch up your nose for a second as you get off of your all's shuttlecraft and start walking into the junkyard proper. And as you all are walking off, I would really quickly like for us to go one at a time as you disembark, and just describe to me what your character looks like and kind of where you're at mentally right now.
Who's going first?
I guess Hank would hop off first, keeping an eye out on his surroundings. The last planet he landed on was a nightmare of a trip, so he figured that it's better to be first person out to protect people. As he steps out of the ship in the middle of the rain, his still slightly graying hair, but it's still bright red, but still rather unkempt from his trips around Lumar. And he's still wearing his super ratty coats. It's got a couple extra bullet holes from the adventures of Lumar that we've had, which still need to repair it. I believe 15% lead at this point. But he is still feeling better than he has been for the last couple of years. His mind's finally his own, and while the voices do occasionally give him like a couple unhelpful bits of advice, he still feels more in control now than he has ever been. He's going to like turn around and like call out into the ship like, Ash, it's fucking pissing rain out here. Are you sure you're gonna be good?
Ash, who on most days is this flamboyant, fiery elemental, just a whopping force of flame and some might call it malice, others might call it personality, but he walks in stride regardless. However, being on a new planet and being one of many faces, he will assume the form of a pearly blonde male high elf who, looking at Hank, will have a little umbrella, kind of parasol of this sickly light green over his head, and he will say, "Oh, Hank, I would be fine." Ash, in this moment, having landed on a new planet, although not full of sparkling individuals, is looking forward to meeting new people for the first time in a while.
Yeah, Ash joins Hank up on the path as you all start to disembark. A massive, like, drone ship carrying what looks like part of a hull takes off from the port next to you all, and there's that, like, deep groaning sound of a really large piece of metal moving like closer to you than you would like. Who is next off the boat?
Dee Dee hopped out of the ship, it being a little bit more than a step for her little halfling body. And she kind of looked around and took in a sharp breath and said, "Oh, that's a familiar smell." And she lifted her little scarf up over her mouth and nose in the acrid atmosphere. Junkyard being familiar to her. Even her pink ponytail seemed to sink a little with how dusty and grimy just the air itself seemed to be. She took a few steps forward and said, "All right, boys, watch your step. I'm familiar with places like this, but you may not be."
That's a valid response. Well, I mean, what's the worst that can happen here? It's not like we can, go any worse than last time.
Dee lifted her arms up behind her head and said, "Unexploded fuel tanks, for one."
I will keep my distance. Ash kind of flourishes his now elven hair, raising his voice into a impersonation as he looks to Hank and Dee Dee. "You will not have to worry about good old Veg. He is not flammable." Oh.
This is vegetarian.
I am currently dressed up as my first personality with this guy's self, Vegetarian.
I can't tell if I should be flattered or offended that he picked an elf.
He only eats a carnivorous
Yes.
diet is the funny thing.
I simply love red meats, especially rare.
Well, this is horrifying. What's the hold up, yeah, you two? I'm gonna call out for
Next
Aster
off will be Aster, and he will turn around and give a helping hand down to Nadi.
Yeah, Nadi will join you, the resident of Lumar with her chitinous marbled red, black, and white skin, her black sclerid eyes with a large yellow irises kind of blinking sideways and kind of twitching a bit under the rain. She looks kind of nervous for a second, as you all remember rainstorms were pretty dangerous on Lumar, so it takes her a second to kind of relax and sniff the air, and she's, "What is that smell? It is disgusting."
It is the smell of decay. That is what this planet is for. Things come here to die. And all that is left moving is the scavengers. But the rain will not be the primary issue here. You wonder what might be the worst thing that can happen. I would say that we should be afraid of being stuck here. Do make sure the ship stays under, I want to say locked. I don't know if this thing has a locked, but that's what I'll say to Alwyn as we fucking...
Sure, it's got a lock on it. Why not?
Or at least some type of anti-theft alarm.
Just have Dee Dee put y'all's fingerprints on a stone or something, and it can only open if it recognizes your fingerprint.
I'd say that could be an artificer infusion that you could probably do.
Hell yeah.
Well, Alwyn sets it in park after kind of giving the console a little bit of patting. It's all right. We'll get this worked out. First, this is our first time together. All right, I understand. You were a little nervous. I was a little nervous. All right, I'll see you in a bit. And the astral elf will get up and follow along the others with his long gunslinger trench coat and wide-brimmed hat. He is already catching a whiff of the smell coming through the back hatch and goes ahead and lights himself up a smoke just to kind of downcast that a little bit. Looking out, he goes ahead and just says, for safety's sake, and casts his disguise self on him to appear more as a half-elf with even though he doesn't really get to grow it so much in his natural form, a nice debonair mustache and goatee, and with his guitar and rifle slung across his back and a rather fancy-looking pistol at his side, he goes ahead and struts along by the others with his boots kicking up some water, and he'll close the hatch and kind of put the emergency code lock on it, for now at least.
Sure. It'll
You'll hear a little beep beep.
yeah, it'll cast thaumaturgy if someone tries to break into it to scream, "Hey, hey, hey!" All right, you all disembark from your little shuttlecraft and find yourselves in the middle of this junkyard. I'll let you have control over your characters from here on where you'd like to go. You see that there's some, the bots are behind you, all these like drone-like vehicles that are picking up some of the trash, but you don't see anyone else out in the field right now. You hear what sounds like a dog barking, like way off in the distance. It's too far to be paying attention to you in particular, but otherwise it's just rainy and cold.
As she started to take in more of the surroundings, Dee Dee started to get a little excited, getting closer to some of the scrap peeps here and everything. Kind of talking to herself, half talking to them, she shouted, "This place is great! Look at this! It's an arcane crystal resonator, and it's an astral flux capacitor, and there's an unbroken mana wisp containment field over there."
Great, I have to go with what all those things do now.
Dee Dee, has anyone ever told you that you are absolutely adorable when you simply know what you're talking about?
She kind of glared and pointed at him. "Shut up."
He kind of smugly smiles and shrugs with lifting the parasol up and flicking some water off of it. As you say.
Did you know where we should probably go to get on with our task? Or are we just going to go along blind and see what this planet has in store for us?
Up to you all. You tell me what you want to do. You're planet side now. It looks like there's a building over there, over to the east, with some lights in front of it and everything, but you don't really hear anything coming out of it.
Yeah, I was trying to add Dee, but I think it may have got cut off a bit.
It did, but I got you, Siren. Dee Dee kind of lost in her own thoughts, went, "Huh? Oh, sorry. Well, we came to resupply, and it really depends on what we're looking for here. I mean, there's ship parts everywhere. If we wanted to retrofit, I could probably make most of this work, but, most of these planets are usually run by someone. There's usually some trade or selling taking effect, but I haven't seen anybody yet. I'm surprised we weren't greeted by a salesman right away."
And so we quickly look around just to see if they fucking materialize out of the aether, and when no one does, well, worst case scenario, we can go towards where that dog's barking. I assume it's a dog. Strange thing if it wasn't a dog.
Well, let's go catch up with the others.
As you all are walking through that section of the junkyard, going to join everyone else, I think that's Alwyn over there. Alwyn, make me a perception check.
Alright. It's gonna be an 18.
18? Okay. You see kind of moving out amongst some of the junk behind you. It's low to the ground, and you just kind of see a back to begin with, but it's black and shaggy and matted looking, and peeking out from one of the containers over to the side, looking around it and tilting its head, seems to be a junkyard dog. it like gives a half and then starts just panting with a big like tongue hanging out, and you can hear its tail like thwacking the side of the container that it's beside, but it just kind of is staring at you.
Well, Alan will crouch down a little bit. Well, look who got left out in the rain, and he'll pull out a little bit of beef strip to kind of offer out.
Give me an animal handling check. Dee Dee and Hank, you both see this as the dog comes like wagging over to Alowin.
Right. Can I see that is the dog, suffering any possible rabies that you can see from this?
It doesn't look like it. It looks old and like it might have been mean at one point of its life, but it's kind of just tired now.
It is a 10.
A 10? Okay. It like kind of gets low to the ground, like just its nose and like head low to the ground. Its tail still kind of up and wagging, but it just kind of looks up at you. As if it's like prepared to like back away and run or something, but it doesn't move closer and take the treat or anything. But it just kind of stares at you, and as Hank approaches, it looks over at him and goes, "Arr, arr, arr, arr." And just starts panting happily again and wagging its tail.
Hank's gonna try the same thing as Alan, but he's going to, because he doesn't have beef strip on him, he's going to try and grab one of the treats that he found in one of the junk food vendors on the ship, which he assumes is some kind of peanut butter covered bacon, which sounds horrifying, but
it's a special invention. It's kind of like a
No, it doesn't. That sounds
100,000, but it's instead of chocolate and nougat and caramel, it's bacon and peanut butter.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I
give
would
me an animal
absolutely
handling
try
check.
it.
that's a nat 2022.
Holy shit. As you get how did you have this in your pocket? It's just like loose bacon covered in peanut butter. And you just pull it out of and the dog is like already like as you pull it out beside you and just like licking at your hand and try to like nudge its nose to get towards this bacon peanut butter.
Oh, you're a good boy. You are a good boy. I think you're a boy. You could possibly be a girl. I'm not entirely a good doctor.
You looked out and it's a boy, yeah.
Okay. Can I see if there's like any collar on him?
And he takes the bacon. You, as everyone else who's walking on the path right now is walking through there, you hear from inside that building someone yell, "Jasper, shut up!" And
Jasper,
the
do I come
dog
with me?
next to you all like cringes down for a second, but it still is like licking pretty furiously at the peanut butter and bacon.
I'm just going to carry Jasper with me.
You're going to pick up the wet junkyard dog that looks like it weighs like 75 pounds.
I would like to remind you, I've done similar things with Shelby and with Sue at this point.
You're going to pick up the dog. I'll let the nat 20 carry, absolutely. You pick up Jasper, who just like drapes both of his arms over your shoulders and is just like panting with his face like right beside yours. Like just the happiest dog in the world to be carried.
You're gonna smell like wet dog for at least a week, if not a month.
This is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
He does not smell good. Give me a Constitution saving throw, Hank.
Yeah, wet junkyard dog, I should clarify.
That is a nat 1, so that's a 7.
You
Not from eyes.
You have to swallow vomit as this dog breathes on your face, and it smells. You've smelled death before. This is not death. This is alive and rot, and just it hurts. And as you like look down and try to like swallow his vomit, you notice that this dog is infested with so many fleas, and they are now all over your coat and shirt.
Think of the happy thoughts. Think of the happy thoughts. Do not think of vomit. Do not think of vomit.
Jasper licks your face, and you're going to take 1 point of poison damage.
That's fair. Listen, sometimes we roll a nat 1, sometimes we roll a nat 20. There's no middle ground here.
There is no middle ground. Yeah, you all join up with everyone else. That's not a part of that little detour. And get to the entrance over here. I think, Ash, you were the first one that was over here. Did you want to walk in first, or are you all walking in as a group?
Yeah, we're gonna say that Ash hears the barking of the dog and hears some people messing with the dog, but chooses to ignore that and instead walks straight into this establishment here. Or rather, vegetarian does.
As you walk in, Ash, this looks like, maybe 30 or 40 years ago, it was set up and it was a pretty decent, reception area / diner for people coming to this place to buy, sell, or trade in this junk and stuff like that. That was a long time ago. All the wallpaper is peeling and dirty and matted. The floor has cracks in it. Some of the grating rattles as you walk over it and threatens to give way in a couple parts. The tables, what few have chairs, are one leg down and leaning against a wall, or have a impromptu stack of books for the other leg of the chair or something like that. There's empty bottles of whiskey all over the place, and it reeks of old food and just discarded beer bottles and stuff like that. As you walk in, though, you see over to your left is a small table that has been cleared off, and there's 2 men who don't look up at you. They're both pretty straight-faced and serious looking. They seem incongruent with their surroundings, as they're wearing very, very professional looking, black dusters with black button-up shirts with a little white collar on it, and a pair of fitted black pants, slacks, and they have these thick black boots on. You can't immediately tell if they're carrying or not, but they are sitting like they are, even with a quick scan of them. But they are apparently have the only 2 good chairs in the place, and they're sipping at what looks like a thing that they brought themselves of a little flask of whiskey and a couple shot glasses. And then behind where the bar is, you see kind of slumped over, trying to go back to sleep, but unable to, as you have now walked in, having just yelled out at his dog Jasper. But a very old, very worn down looking human. He has just a massive bald spot on the top of his head with wispy, just barely there hair along his crown and along the back of his head, wearing ripped and dirty overalls and a shirt that might have been white once but is now just old and yellow and caked with sweat. He looks at you and kind of scowls a little and takes another long drag from a whiskey bottle that he's been working on for a long time, it looks like. And looks over your shoulder as more of you all start to walk in. And, yeah, go ahead.
Veg is going to walk in with a glowing smile that sharpens brightly as this old, beaten, definitely dirty, scrangly old man looks at him. He's just met with this wall of positivity with a question mark as he is walking up, shaking off his parasol and putting it away for the moment as he calls out in a indoor voice, hello, are you the owner of this establishment?
You see his eyes dart over to the 2 men in the corner who are still heads down, their faces covered by their large brimmed black hats. And he looks back at you. It's not like a nervous glance or anything. It's just like a lazy, like look over at them and then look back at you. He sits up straight, and you see that his right arm is gone at the elbow and replaced by what looks like mostly junk, but what is effectively a mechanical arm. And it's got just 3 fingers on it, like a thumb and then 2 forefingers, and he just kind of leans up and stretches his back a bit. And he goes, "Depends who's asking. Who are you?"
I am vegetarian. I am a, well, foodie, shall we say. An enjoyer of the culinary arts and star traveler. I am here with my companions, and we are looking for some trade, some supplies. But I could first use a drink, and as is tradition, I always like to greet the grandest of hosts.
Aster's staying outside, by the way. He is
Okay.
not going in.
Yeah, as you are introducing yourself here, we'll say that everyone else joins in. Who all is going in and who all is staying outside? Hank, are you walking in with that fucking dog into this place?
No. He's staying outside, but he's mostly just like saying, "Oh, we could do it.
Got fucking space ticks.
Yeah,
Alan's
not being near those two.
Alan's gonna wander in and clock the 2 not at all shady looking folk in the corner.
Okay. Where do you move to stand? Nadi will stand outside, mostly with you, Aster, but she also looks in there and kind of sniffs and says, "At least there's wind out here."
As I said, DK.
But inside, you all join in as Vegetarian, or Ash is currently saying that he's a foodie and here to trade and stuff. The guy behind the bar kind of just quirks a very scruffy-looking eyebrow, just this wild tangle of white hair, and he's a, "Yeah, I can get you something to drink, I guess. What are you wanting to do you know where you are?"
Oh, my good man, not a clue.
You don't know.
That is
Oh.
correct. I am, see, after all, not the navigator of our fine ship, merely a entertainer and reviewer.
Give me a deception check. And Aster, or Alwyn, what were you saying?
Alan was just gonna kind of mutter about something about, well, we're definitely in the anus of some system.
Well, the total is a 10.
Okay.
Well,
he got a 12 for his insight. I thought you were gonna blow that out of the water.
I do have a +9, and my total is a 10.
Jesus. So you got a nat 1?
A nat 1.
Yeah.
So 2 nat 1s a session, huh?
All right. With a nat 1, he kind of scrunches his eyes a bit, and you see his mechanical hand like reach for something under the table and stay there. And he says, "Nobody comes around here just because they're lost. I think it's best you all get off this planet."
His glowing smile still stays there. He clocks and makes an effort to show that he looks down slowly with his elvish pupils and looks back up, almost as in like an acknowledgement of like, "I see you," but making no movements himself, and will simply state, "My good man, as I said before, we are here for some supplies and for some trade. We shall leave as soon as we are well equipped to make it elsewhere. There is no trouble to be had with us."
Give me a persuasion.
Sure.
You're good at those,
I'm actually
Oh, you're not.
I'm actually way better at deception. My total is a 5. Somehow I have rolled 2 nat 1s back to back.
2 nat 1s. Okay.
This is gonna be awesome.
I'm telling you.
Can Dee just like intervene here real quick?
No, let me have this.
Would you like to intervene to give him advantage on the roll?
No, I want to talk to the guy instead.
Okay, well, currently the nat 1 is going to stand then, which means...
Well, Alan will try to chime in to give some advantage and maybe disarm the man a little bit.
I'll let the help action occur.
There can't be a third nat one, right?
Easy now, old timer. I mean, he don't mean nothing. He's literally, new to this whole traveling bit. So let's just all take a breath. Not too deep a breath. This place does have a certain fragrance about it.
With advantage.
Oh, go ahead.
With advantage, that is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 is a bit better. The guy will look with just a twitch of his eyes over at you, Alwyn, and then back at Vegetarian, and he'll kind of just give a little incline of his head and say, "You all aren't with them Broderick boys, are you?"
History check? Question mark?
Sure, it's going to be with disadvantage.
You know what? Let's go for the third one. Oh, that's a nat 20. And that's a 16 for a total of 17.
17. Even with a 17, for you to know anything about this would be near impossible. You have no idea.
Fair enough.
Dee kind of shook her head. No, sir, we are not. In fact, we're not really from this neck of the woods.
Give me a persuasion.
Persuasion. I'm not good at those. Oh, but today I am 18.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
He looks down at you, Dee Dee, and he sees just your general look. You are very you're very engineered up, where you have your overalls and your multi-tools, and Boris is like flyer. You got goggles on your forehead. You have a look like you've been working with engine grease for some reason. So he seems to soften a bit to what looks like a familiar spirit to him in a way, as he looks down at you, Dee Dee, and says, "Y'all just show up on PAX today, and not from around here at all?"
Dee kind of shook her head and, got a little bold about it and went ahead and walked up to the counter and leaned her arms on it and said, "Look, my good man, you and I have both done this for a long time, and we both know that discretion is in both of our best interests, especially in such an isolated place like this. That's not a threat, it's just a fact. Now, we do have some good things to trade, and we do have some things that we need. Do you think we can find some mutual beneficial relationship here, or do you really still want us to go?" With no more questions.
Your skin sticks to the bar as you put your arms on it, so you're having to deal with that while you're talking. But he just kind of looks you up and down again, and then looks back over. What's Ash and Alwyn doing right now?
Ash is still standing exactly where he was, which was at this point would be right here. He hasn't touched anything, and he is somewhat determined not to, for no other reason than he doesn't want the disguise to be revealed in any way.
Sure. Alwyn
was just kind of leaning there to one side, with a hand just kind of resting on the top of his pistol on his side, and he pulls out another cigarette, and just using his thumb, he uses prestidigitation to light himself up. just kind of eyeing over there at the barkeep, and then every so often at the other two guys.
Yeah. You spot one of the two guys move for the first time. Like, they've been kind of statues besides just taking the occasional sip. But one of them, as they see, like, you get in position and, like, put your hand on your pistol, one of them kind of leans back their chair a bit, like, 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot up, like, on the edge of the table. And their hand kind of rests somewhere out of sight that you can't see. But they're just still head down, not looking at you, face covered by the hat. But they just kind of get into a position that they stick in for a bit. But as that's happening back there, you two are talking over to this fine gentleman. And as vegetarian is just standing there very posh and straight and like, are you still smiling like a really big smile?
Yes, he's still waiting for his drink. Like, if he if the old man looked over at Ash, aka Veg, he'll just kind of like tilt his head ever so slightly and say, "So how about that drink?"
He'll nod a bit, looking a bit concerned over at Ash, and then back over to Dee. Yeah, I can do that. And he just kind of scoots his chair around, and as he does, Dee, you see beneath the bar, it looks like this guy's legs are completely withered and just like skeletal. He seems to be like moving around the bar with a like almost spider-like little carrier wheelchair thing that he's in. It's got like 4 legs on it with like these clamp claws. Almost looks like claws that would have been used to pick up junk and stuff like that have been repurposed into this thing. And
like the bad guy from Wild Wild West?
Yeah, kind of. Kind of like that thing. I was thinking of the thing that Darth Maul is in the Clone Wars.
Oh, that too, yeah.
But the exact same concept. He is in that thing. And he kind of, it kink, 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 as it, like, moves over to his side, and he grabs a bottle and just, like, moves it under one arm, and then 2 cups that he, like, pours cigarette butts out of, and then he spits in them and takes his thumb and, like, wipes them out, and then, like, takes a bit of his overalls and cleans the spit out, and then puts them on the table, and takes his teeth and uncorks the bottle and pours a almost full glass for the both of you, and then just takes the bottle and starts drinking it.
Yeah, Veg is gonna take the glass. Does it seem to respond to, like, does it seem to be like a grog or like some sort of alcohol that's like immediately lit just by being near me?
It smells like engine degreaser. This is the strongest alcohol. Like, as you start to reach for it, you're afraid it might light on fire.
He is going to look at Dee Dee, give her a little like elbow nudge and say, "Would you like to see one of my parlor tricks?"
Dee Dee kind of shifted her eyes to look at him and said,
I'll take that as a yes. And he is going to he's gonna like wave his hand over the cup and say, "Alakavash, alakavoosh. In my tummy, this will whoosh." And he is going to cast Control Flames, as he's basically going to put his hand on top of the cup, igniting the liquid and just, like, basically throwing it back, turning the entire liquid into flame as he drinks it.
Sure. I'll say for this potent of alcohol entering Ash's form beneath this disguise, though, give me a Constitution save so your entire body doesn't start glowing.
Okay. So that's gonna be a 19.
Okay, yeah, with a 19, you can kind of swallow it and, like, flex your chest a bit and keep that, like, extra spark of the fire inside of you just withheld within the bounds of your disguise well enough. Dee Dee, what do you do with your drink? Or, sorry, go ahead, Ash.
Just really quick, he's gonna, like, shiver and, like, pretend to be absolutely disgusted and go, oh, absolutely horrid. 4 out of 5 stars.
Dee Dee, again, Dee Dee's not unfamiliar with dealing with people like this. There is that little bit of sympathy because obviously, he is having to, have a machine do the moving for him. But she took her drink she looked at her drink and then looked back at him and said, interesting. And she took it and she kind of blatantly held it out next to her and dumped it out on the floor and put the cup back down and looked at him and said, drinks are for people who make deals. You know that. And the only reason she did this is because some traders, if you show any kind of bend, they will just take advantage of you. And she knows that.
Give me another persuasion check, Dee Dee.
Sure. 15.
Okay. He cracks a bit of a smile, and the first time you've seen him show any emotion besides just general confusion and anger, and he nods and takes another big drag of his whiskey. He says, I never found that personally to be the case, but I like the cut of your jib, kid. Name's Finn. Who are you all? What are you doing around these parts?
Dee Dee began to introduce herself as her real name and then hesitated, realizing that even remotely, word travels fast, even in the galaxy. And she thought better of it and introduced herself as her middle name. I'm Ilara, and this is the rest of my crewmates. Why we're here is of no consequence. I told you, no questions.
Kind of purses his lips a bit and nods and looks over back at where Alwyn is and gives a nod over towards Alwyn and then looks back down at you, Dee Dee, and says, who's the sketchy one in the corner over there? Got a hand on an iron.
Dee Dee looked over her shoulder at Alwyn and then back at him and said, that's my muscle. He won't do nothing if your boys don't do nothing first.
His eyes kind of dart over to the two in the corner. Give me an insight check.
Oh, that's a 6.
Okay. Hard to read the expression that he gives over towards those two in the corner, and then looks back at you. He doesn't correct you or anything, though. He just kind of nods and says, all right, well, we got a lot here. Can you tell me what you're looking for, or did you just want to go hunting?
Dee Dee kind of thought about it for a moment. Well, it's possible if I find what I need and I find something that I can work with, that I may need parts to retrofit parts of the ship that I currently have. There's also the need of some food and other general supplies, but it looks like you don't provide that. However, I will take information on where to get those things, or any other information you would be willing to share.
He kind of nods for a second and he goes, yeah, I mean, I at least know where some of the bigger wrecks we got are. If you want to just scavenge through them, I can point you in that direction. But today might not be the best day. And as he is saying that, everyone outside, that rain is getting worse. There's now lightning every couple of seconds and stuff like that, as it just starts fires somewhere way out in the distance in this junkyard. There's a couple small explosions as a lightning bolt hits something way out in the junk field. But everyone that's outside, give me a perception check.
Perception.
It's the Jonas Brothers.
16.
17.
That was almost another nat 20.
Okay. So it's the two of you and Nadi outside right now, right?
That
Yep.
looks like.
And the
Okay.
dog.
And the dog, Jasper. You all are just kind of standing as close to like where the eave of. There's a small little overhang of this building that's just a piece of like sheet metal with a bunch of holes in it. But even standing under there, you all see as a ship breaks orbit, making their way towards the same place that you all had parked. It is a absolute junker looking of a ship, one of its engines trailing a long trail of smoke behind it, mismatched colors all over it, with a wheel for one of its landing feet, and then a couple the stock feet on another part. But it is flying over. It's quite a bit larger than your all ship. You would imagine it could fit it's like a brigantine to your all's galleon, essentially. Has a couple what looks like rocket pods or something on it, but no big armaments or anything. But it is flying and breaking atmosphere and arriving at the parking lot over there.
Veg is gonna speak up for the first time in a while and say, "The weather is rather frightful outside. I assume that's why it is a bad day today," and is looking for any signs that the man is making, any tells he gives.
No, I mean, it's just a real bad storm. If you all could maybe come back tomorrow or something, I should be able to help you out. It's just not a good day for it. Give me an insight check.
Sure.
He'll make a deception. You're trying to beat a 10.
14.
Okay. Lying through his teeth. Something's up, and he doesn't want you all here.
He will nod and say, "Seems like a good enough reason to me. I have never been one who is good with the rain. It ruins my makeup. Would you happen to have a bathroom I could use before I head back? Don't think that drink is sitting well with me."
He kind of nods his head over to his left. Yeah, shitter's over there.
As I start heading over, I'm going to keep Dee Dee in my line of sight. Is it possible for me to keep Dee Dee in my line of sight but have no one else see me?
Difficult, because right behind Dee Dee from your angle are those two men over in the corner.
Yeah, I'm just checking something real quick. Okay, I'm assuming there's no door here, right? It's just kind of like a walk-in thing?
Yeah. There is a door,
Okay, then,
but it's off a hinge and hanging open.
Yeah, then that should be perfect, as Ash is going to be able to get behind full cover, basically, and cast the message cantrip, which I can cast without needing to see Dee Dee, because I'm familiar with her.
Sure.
And she's going to hear a telepathic message from him saying, "He's 100% lying. Those men in the corner likely aren't his, and there's more than just a storm at work here."
You can respond to messages, Dee Dee.
I understand, Ash. We'll just have to keep an eye on our backs. For now, he's willing to deal. We should at least try.
Ash, this place is the worst. Every single one of these stalls, you don't find one that's not out of order in some way. Some of them are just missing the toilet, some of them are cracked. Some of them, even as a fire elemental, you would feel dirty using.
Yeah, he's looking at all of this and goes, "Ugh, how horrid. Ugh, thank God I don't need to use it myself." And he's just gonna spend a few minutes in there to kind of pass off. At one point, Dee Dee will just kind of hear an echoing,
As that's happening there, the three of you that are outside notice that this ship was landing. Are you all doing anything or just staying at the entrance here?
Where was it landing? Was it by our ship again?
Yes,
or was
by
it
your ship.
boy, I probably wouldn't be able to see that far.
No, you would not. You would have to walk back over there at least a ways.
Yeah.
Thanks. Probably gonna put down Jasper and pat him on the head and start walking towards the ship just to make sure that no one decides to, fucking jack our shit.
Yeah, Jasper follows you.
Yeah. Astor's, as he said when they landed, concerned about the landing boat. He's, I guess he will start walking.
Well,
There is an alarm, thankfully, on it.
yeah, but if it goes off, we should at least be in some place to do something. Otherwise, they just fucking yoink end by the time we get there.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh man, are you expecting them brothers here today? Is that it? You got a prior expectation of business?
He looks up at you sharply, this being like only the second time you've spoken during this entire interaction. He goes, "Nope, ain't no one supposed to be here. Where'd you hear that?"
Oh, I'm just putting two and two together here, partner.
I think you all should.
You asked us if we were the brothers, or with the brothers, and then you're telling us to leave. So I assumed we were stepping in when you were expecting somebody else.
I'd be careful about running my mouth around here like that if I were you.
So he's just kind of like very casually holding his hand on the pistol, but the butt just kind of shows a little bit, and on the butt is the emblem of the Sunmaw clan, and it's a celestial kraken like wrapped around a sun. Does he recognize that at all?
Let's see if he even sees it. That is an 18 on his perception as you try to make it. Let's roll a history check for him. Ooh. He looks down as you like flash that pistol, and then his eyes go wide, and you hear like some of the legs like clink as he like moves back a bit, as if he's like about to run. I think you all should leave. I don't want nothing to do with none of that.
Now hold on there, partner. Maybe we can help each other out here.
That's the same exact moment that Veg comes out of the toilet. He's like a lot greener, and a lot very wet looking, as though like sweat had been pouring down his forehead, and goes, "Oh dear me, oh me. 3 stars out of 5." And he puts down a single gold piece on the counter.
He like glances over at you as you enter, but his eyes are still mostly locked on Alwyn over there, and still making as if he's gonna try and like run towards one of the back rooms or something.
Titi kind of lifted her arms up defensively and said, "Now hold on, everyone calm down. Again, there's no needs for this. You said you knew where the bigger wrecks are. Tell me, and we'll go."
We will pause that scene as the 3 of you outside see that there is a group of, it looks like 5 or 6 people around where your ship is. It doesn't look like they're trying to break into her or anything. They're just all kind of like oohing and awing over it, because again, this is mostly a like recreational sports craft, so it is very fancy for this place. So it looks like a mix, but mostly pretty young people, and they're all just kind of looking at your all's landing craft over there.
Is there anyone in particular that is like outside? It seems like not like they're playing it up. Like essentially, I'm just trying to find like someone who's not wing and awing like it's just a regular sports car, but more like ooh and ah, like hey, this car is no one's really keeping an eye on it.
Hard to tell from this distance. You probably have to it's still raining very, very hard, so you just see a bunch of people, like you just hear like catch some loud exclamations and some like laughter and stuff like that. You see that 3 of the 5 are like around your all's vehicle, and 2 of them are kind of standing off to a side and seem to be having a animated conversation.
I'm going to take a glance at Aster and then ask him if he wants to deal with the group or if he wants to deal with the 2 by their lonesome.
Boy, how did we determine this was locked?
I locked it on the way out.
Does only Alwyn have the key then to unlock?
It's not really a key.
It's a
like
passcode.
It's not even that. It's like an arcane stone thing that you recognizes you.
Is that what we're going with, DM?
Sure. That's
Okay.
fine with me. Yeah.
I just didn't know if we could unlock it or if we needed to have.
It's still
Alwyn
like
here.
a sports
do.
car, so even with like a fingerprint lock, essentially, like, you know, if they bust a window out or something, they can get into it. Like, it's however much effort they're willing. It is locked as best as it can be locked.
Yeah. I think some assertion would be good. It would be good to deter them early as opposed to after some damage has been done.
That's fair. Then let me try and see if I can get close in case one of them gets spooked. And Hank's gonna try and slowly, not deliberately sneak up on them, but not draw attention to himself as he gets closer
Give me a self
to the big group. Yeah, something that I'm incredibly famous for being good at.
Don't say you want to be sneaky then. Holy
19.
shit. A 19 on the
Apparently
dice
I'm very
plus 1. Oh, wow. Sure. Yeah. Hank's quiet as the night over to one of the sides as Nadi stays with you, Aster. Where are you headed?
Aster is probably just going to walk straight down the road calmly, and if nobody does anything or says anything to him, he's just going to unlock the door and get in and lock it from the inside.
Hold on. Let me.
But if they do not address him first, he's not going to talk to them.
Sure. You see that the 2 over to the side, one of them is quite a bit bigger and beefier. The other one a bit smaller, but seems a bit sharper. Like, you know, he just the way he's talking and carrying himself, like he just seems a bit more elegant than his companion over there. But as you walk up towards the ship, one of the girls of the group that's looking at it perks up real quick and looks over to you and gives you a big wave. Hey, is this yours? Is this your whole ship?
It is. Can I help you?
Oh, I'm just admiring it. This is... I've never seen anything like this. How fast does it go?
It has a considerable amount of speed, though I must admit to have not testing quite what its acceleration is.
One of the 2 that's over there having the conversation breaks off. It's the smaller of the 2. He's got this kind of dirty blonde hair, and he kind of pats the other guy on the shoulder, and the big guy kind of rolls his eyes and just crosses his arms and walks over with him. He goes, "Hey, Natalie, stop it!" And he comes over. He goes, "Sorry about them, sir. They get excited about the littlest things."
I am sure that such a marvel like this is novel here.
Oh, indeed. You have no idea.
Well, they're all talking to Alwyn. Is there anyone that's specifically making any movements, like to try and like call someone or like trying to sneak off? Or are they all focused on?
Give me an insight check.
This has been a very 8. It's been very up and down for me.
8.
Yeah.
You know, you've learned to be so mistrustful of people that all of it might be a show. Like, they seem excited and, like, aren't nervous talking to Aster or anything, but you've seen some people that can be pretty shady, so it's hard to read.
They're all serial killers.
The slick-looking guy just kind of gives you a smile, Aster, and says, we didn't mean no harm. We weren't going to touch or anything, promise. We just, they saw something pretty. Can't help them. We'll get out of your hair, though. Sorry to bother you.
Indeed. Please understand the concern that I had in seeing a group of people around our vehicle.
Oh, no, I absolutely get it, friend. It's, we look like a rough crew, but, we're just out here trying to get by, just like you all, I'm sure.
Indeed.
Hey, you all wouldn't happen to have an extra, engine for sale or anything, would you? I don't think old Finn here's got anything, but we were going to check.
No, unfortunately, we have need of our engines at the moment.
Just if you had a spare or something and didn't want to cripple you all or anything, just for our benefit. We got into a bit of a scrape not too long ago, but I think we're right as rain. Speaking of which, we're going to get inside before we get drenched out here.
A wise choice.
And he kind of nods his head towards the other three. Alright, hey, let's go! And they kind of sulkily start moving away. The girl that had been asking you questions about, lets a little finger, run along the side of it and just kind of shakes her head and gives you a big smile, Aster, as they start heading out. Nadi kind of looks over at you and says, "So what did they say?"
They wish to know some small technical details, but otherwise, nothing of note. Hopefully they will not be an issue further.
Yeah, Hank is gonna follow them to see if they actually are gonna go to whoever this old Finn is. Because he hasn't met an old Finn yet, but he figures they may possibly own his dog.
Sure. Jasper is still following you. Are you being sneaky about this? Going through the junkyard?
Not super. I want to say 100-ish meters, enough that I can see them, but not insanely fucking close where they at least be able to immediately spot me.
Sure. Aster, you and Nadi find a spot underneath the roof of the building above the port there to just kind of not be wet. And she looks over at you and says, "Are we going back, or should we just stay here and wait for them?"
At this point, I would just stay here. I think, should anything happen, we will not miss some form of notification, but for now, here is out of the rain, and it is a good enough place.
She nods and says, "At least, I was about to say the rain helps with the smell, but..." And she kind of sticks a hand out, and as a raindrop falls out, a little, almost piece of smoke evaporates out of the rain, and she shakes her head and says, "How do people live like this?"
It is a small but meager existence. In planets like this, you mostly just play the hand you are dealt. There is no real hope for any excitement in your life. do your job, and then you die. It is exceedingly different from the planet that we came from.
Nadine kind of just nods and watches the rain for a bit. And as you two are kind of just silhouetted with that rain pouring onto the junk behind you all, we'll swap back over to the bar, where Dee Dee has asked Finn to just point her towards a couple other things, and Finn shakes his head and goes, I don't want no business with nothing to do. It's not mine. It's not my business. Do whatever you want. And he continues to back up.
Dee Dee gave an exasperated sigh. Ugh. Boys, why? Why is it always you boys? I don't understand. And she kind of rubbed her temples and said, look, just... And she looked at the wall behind him and she was like, is that a map of your place? Just, please, tell me where to start looking. I'll come back and pay for things or make deals with you myself. I don't know what you're on about or what my friend here may all be associated with, and it's not my business either.
Your friend there's carrying a pistol of one of the most notorious pirate groups in all the Astral Sea. Oh, sorry, that wasn't Finn's voice. Your friend there's carrying a pistol with the markings of one of the most dangerous groups in the entire Astral Sea.
Dee Dee shrugged. Good muscle is good muscle. Would you turn it down if you had them as a bodyguard?
If they had that kind of reputation, I would.
Then perhaps you're the fool.
He continues to hedge and back up, and it's around this time that a new person enters, followed by a large, beefy man and a couple other people in animated conversation. He kind of jogs in out of the rain and goes, "Whew, it is pouring out there, Finn. And he looks up and sees you all and sees Finn, and then everything kind of pauses for a second. There's a very loaded silence for a minute as Finn looks over to them, and that look of like horror from Alwyn's pistol turns into a very pitiful look as he just kind of shakes his head and said, "They got here first. I'm sorry." And as he says that, the two men in the corner stand up and brandish large sawed-off shotguns from under their cloaks and point them at the two that just entered. And they say, "Hands in the air, marshals!" And they start walking towards this group over here.
Reaction.
Yeah, we're going to say that that's an initiative for everyone, actually.
Hell yeah.
Should I also roll initiative? Because I'm
Yeah, you were
facing behind
following.
them. Okay.
Fuck.
Oh, wait a minute. We're doing that new initiative. Don't roll it. You all move on the same turn together.
Oh.
So the three groups in this initiative are you all, the marshals, and this other group of kind of younger kids, like, late teens, early 20s. Would you all like to go first or second or third?
I'd say probably third.
I would like to go first in this scenario.
I'd like to go third and see how the chips fall.
Dee Dee?
Oh, hold on, who's
You're the
going
deciding
first?
Voice,
I mean-
or might be the deciding vote. I'll roll for the other two for their...
It's unfortunate because I could see an argument for both. Because one, these are marshals, they're going to be after us too. Two, if we side with the marshals, then we're more inconspicuous. But I have a feeling this other group of people could have a mutual benefit to us too. God, Odyssey, and y'all want first and third, and I was gonna say second. We're terrible people.
You know
Look
what?
now.
You know what? I actually, out thinking about it, I'm gonna agree with Dee Dee. I'd like to go second, and maybe and cut the deck.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll call it second. That's fine with me.
Because if we
Nadi
see how it
and
starts, we
Aster
can decide
are
how
not in
it
this
ends.
initiative because they're back there.
No, not until we hear some form of. If we hear a gunshot or something.
Or violence.
They're peaceful people.
Sure. Okay, so that means first in initiative was the Marshals, because they had already rolled. They had the surprise, and they have brandished their weapons and are moving to try to arrest this group. So we will enter full initiative now that they got their surprise round, and they'll keep walking with those guns brandished. You see that the group of 5 don't look. They look a bit frightened, but mostly like, oh shit, we gotta get going. It's more of like a animal that's getting cornered look than anything. One that you all as pirates know intimately. And you see that a bunch of them look like they're about to go for weapons. The Marshals raise up their guns. Don't try, put it on the ground now! Put it on the ground! And they're just kind of continuing to walk forward, still brandishing those shotguns. It is your all's turn.
Oh boy. Shall I go first?
What are you wanting to do?
That looks like a fireball position.
No. I think what we're actually going to do is Veg, having come out of the shitter, clocks those 2 guys immediately pulling out their weapons, seeing that there is about to be an enormous brawl, thinks, not a fucking again, this time it's not my fault. So let's be a bit more diplomatic, as he speaks out with this demonic guttural "Seize!" And he's going to cast Command at 3rd level to get both of the Marshals. They need to make me a Wisdom save, I believe, as I cast Command.
That is 1
DC
failure
15.
and 1 success.
Okay. Specifically, this is the Halt command, so they do not move and they take no actions on their turn upon a failure.
Okay. I will set the one that is currently under command with a red base there.
Okay. So they can all see that, like, there's just this booming voice that comes from the corner, and the one guy who's, like, you know, who falls susceptible to the spell, like, his gun is now, like, lowered a little bit, and they can see that he's clearly, like, seizing up, as though he's being manipulated and puppeteered.
Sure. Okay. That is Ash's move is to immediately go against the Marshals. Dee Dee, Alwyn, and Hank.
Hank could have just only spent his turn like walking forward because he hasn't seen anything happen yet. Like I'm imagining that the rain is muffling a lot of the halt or request from the other order, so he's just assuming everything's normal.
Well, Alwyn, kind of looking at the 2 groups, is gonna shout over to Finn. Oh, Finn, who's your friend and who's your foe here?
Vin just kind of has his hands up, and he still looks kind of sorry over towards the group. Give me an insight check on Finn real quick.
That's a nat 20.
Holy shit. Yeah. With a nat 20, you look over at Finn, and you already had a pretty decent read on the situation, and this is you kind of put together the pieces pretty quickly. Like the way that the group were walking in, the way that Finn apologized to them, the like 2 of them over there. You see that Finn, it looks like
he has like betrayed someone's trust. Like he has that like shame on his face of like they got here, like these marshals are from somewhere and apparently have a lot of authority, and they said, hey, we need you to set up a trap for this group we're looking for, because they knew that he was associated with them. So you see that he's friends with the group of kids that walked in, but he's doing the bidding of the marshals. And you just kind of put those pieces together just by the look on his face and like his sorrowful and apologetic eyes and how he's like trying to not get involved with it.
Alright, Alan's gonna kind of turn and pivot, and as he's turning and pivoting, he's gonna pull out his pistol, and seeing the one guy he has that kind of stutter stop after the halt, he's gonna fire off a quick round for a disarming shot on the other guy's shotgun.
For sure, go ahead.
That's a 15 plus an 8 for 23.
Yeah, that'll hit. Is it a save or
Alright.
anything?
Yeah, so on a hit, the creature takes damage and must succeed on a strength saving throw. And my DC is 14.
Okay. 18 on the dice, he succeeds.
Alright, he still takes a bullet in the hand.
Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
Pistol. 1d10 plus 3 piercing. That's gonna be 7. And Alan's gonna shout at him. You drop it, or the next one's going between your eyes. And I'm holding my second shot to see what he does.
Okay. That's you, Dee Dee.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're really looking to, like, kill anybody, though, is the thing. You know, I never thought I'd get to use this. We're gonna have Boris put himself right here and only facing them. There we go. And we're gonna have him be, deployed as protector to just give everybody here, like, a shield of some temp HP. And He's gonna have her pistol aimed at them and just shout at the whole room, Hey, everybody calm down.
The Protector, a positive energy that grants itself and each creature of your choice within 10 feet of it a number of temporary hit points equal to 1d8 plus your intelligence modifier. So roll a d8 for me and specify what creatures are getting it.
To each creature. It doesn't say I'm limited to how many creatures, right?
I guess
10
not.
feet?
Yeah, no, you
I
gotta...
guess that's... I mean, that's pretty much everybody in the doorway, right?
Yeah, you could do pretty much everyone in the doorway.
And then I think Alwyn's in there too. Does he count? Could probably scooch Boris back to make it
Yeah,
count.
I think you could position it so that way Alan's in there. That's fine.
Okay, I'm really bad at the rotating.
Good.
But
You can, when you're picking up the thing, hold control and spin your mouse. That's how you rotate.
okay.
What was your D8 that you rolled?
Oh, right, sorry.
Were you just playing with Boris?
I was trying to figure it on mine it's apparently alt, not control, but
okay. Yeah, that might be true.
the D8 was 6.
Okay, so everyone
Plus
gets plus 10
intelligence,
HP.
so plus...
Yeah.
My intelligence is plus 4.
Yeah, 10. You roll a 6.
Oh.
6 plus 4.
Yeah, you're right. Listen. I'm sorry.
Mathematics.
It's a lot of math, okay?
That's fine. This is good for learning.
It is.
But yeah,
Appreciate
you,
it.
Boris, what does that look like? You've never done that before on Boris. What does the protector mode look like?
I'm kind of imagining like an almost geometric looking green kind of bubble, or like half bubble forms in front of him.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a 10-foot bubble of this, like, lines, almost like a circuit board of energy that kind of starts pulsing from them.
Yeah, like a lime neon green, almost like the Matrix, but no numbers, right? Almost looks like a heart meter, cardio meter, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So you all do that, and is that your turn?
Do we hear that all the way over here?
I mean,
The gunshot from Allowen, you would, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna do a hold action.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah.
What action are you holding? Oh wait, wasn't it an action to deploy the turret for the first time?
It is, yeah. It's
Okay.
the other thing.
So yeah, unless you had a bonus action, then.
I mean, yeah, I didn't, because bonus action is technically firing, Boris. I didn't really do anything. I just kind of raised my pistol and shouted at them.
Oh, you do have to, as it's a bonus action to grant the 1d4 temporary hit points.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Okay. All right. But yes, you two did hear that, so you will join the initiative next turn.
Yeah,
so-
I was just gonna give a sigh, and I'm gonna tell Nadi, as expected, it begins. I'm gonna tell Nadi to hop in the ship and basically, bring it, like, both of us are gonna hop in the ship and we're gonna basically fly over there. It's a storm.
Yeah, it is a storm, and you're bad at this.
Please don't wreck the
I
ship.
am.
Please don't wreck the ship.
Okay. I'm at least gonna tell Nadi to hop in the ship and get it ready to go, and I'll fucking dash.
Yeah, she'll nod and go in and scan her fingerprint and get inside the building, and then you can start dashing.
With
It's
that,
like
I will
100.
probably be cutting. Yeah, I'll probably cut across the fucking thing to get there.
Sure, we'll say that you get to there. That's fine. Okay, you start taking off. That is now this other group's turn, which you all would have probably put together by now is the Broderick brothers. The larger which of the Broderick brothers takes a pipe off the wall nearby and with a just flex of his muscle rips it off the wall and goes running at this marshal that's seized up and slams into the side of his head as hard as he can as he's frozen there. And that's with advantage because he's seized, is that correct?
No, he simply cannot take actions on his next turn. Or
Oh,
move.
okay.
He's not like, he doesn't have a condition on him.
Sure.
He just cannot take actions or move.
He hits, though. So he batters this marshal in the side of the head as hard as he can. The other brother pulls out a little pistol and takes a shot at the other marshal and misses as he's like backing out the doorway. These three turn and start to scramble out and run, kind of running over themselves. This guy stays close to the door until he can get his brother out, but the other three just kind of take off running in a mad dash scramble, almost bumping into you, Hank, as they're leaving. But that is it for them. That is the marshal's turn. The marshal that is seized, so seized is he can't take actions or move?
Correct. He's basically incapacitated until the end of his current turn. So he just loses his turn flat out.
Gotcha. Well, he does have a bonus action.
He cannot take any action.
Without any action. Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
The guy that seized is just muscles locked. There's a trail of blood like leaking from the side of his head where this pipe hit him. You see his hat has got knocked off. You see pointed ears of a elf underneath the hat and raven black hair underneath. But he kind of stares daggers at this larger brother that's in front of him. The other marshal is going to point his gun at you, Allowen, and you see...
Allowen fires off.
With what? How are you firing?
I said if he didn't drop his gun, I was going to use my second shot on him.
You can't save a second part of your action.
Okay, go for it then.
You have to save either your entire action. But he's not going to use his action for that. He's just going to point the gun and start diving over for cover behind this table. And you all hear that he pulls something out and goes, "Third party active on site. Need backup. Need backup." But he's going to dive over there and throw the table off and just kind of hide beneath it. Trying to get cover from you all. That is your all's turn.
You know, this is why I don't ever bother trying to be diplomatic with y'all.
Do you
Hank
want
is
to...
going.
Oh, Boo, go ahead.
Hank is going to have heard all of this fucking commotion, and he's gonna sigh as these three people try and run past him. He's going to Misty Step all the way to the front of the entrance. He's gonna turn to fucking Alan and say, "Really, guys? I was gone for fucking 10 minutes."
They started it, and they pulled the first gun. He's pointing at the other two guys.
That's fair.
The police officers taking part in a sting operation did pull the first guns, yes.
They shouldn't have done it.
I mean,
And he's
but Ash fired the first shot. I feel like which side we were on was kind of decided at that point.
He's going to now run up to the fucking other guy, and he's going to just beat the shit out of him.
Hank is gonna hear Ash's voice call out, "I want them alive!"
I guess I'm gonna non-lethally beat the shit out of him. So, one of those is a nat 20, so I don't think that he may
God, Siren.
Oh, he's got health. Just tell me how much damage you do.
Okay.
Crit smite? Crit smite?
You can crit
You
smite.
always...
Yeah, I'm
you can't
crit smite, yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
for a crit for me, it's max damage plus the damage that I rolled again. So if you're adding the smite to that, again, that is max damage on the smite. Plus you roll the dice for the smite again.
So that's 10 plus 16 plus whatever smite is, which is... I have to fucking find what it's called.
Divine Smite.
Yeah, but it's weird where I put it.
It's weird.
But you put it
where
there.
you Put it? What are you talking about?
Listen, you should know at this point I don't say words well. There it is. So it's 3d8. That's 16 as well on the Divine Smite, so 40 plus...
So wait, it's 26 base plus 16 is 42. Plus the max dice for your Divine Smite, which is 3d8, which is an additional 24, brings you to 64 damage?
Yeah,
Okay. And that's for hit 1?
that's hit 1.
Alright, what was the second hit?
It was a 21 on the other hits.
That also hits.
Okay, so he's just going to take a regular 9 points of damage.
He is still alive, but bleeding severely, and does not look. You tell me how this looks as you charge over where this table is that he had turned around and is making a call over what looks like a little radio that he had.
Hank's fucking hearing him on the thing, so he decides, you know what? Fuck this. This is... I'm not going to be blamed for this, so I'm just going to go fucking full out. So he just screams charging at him. And first swing, he tries to hit right through the fucking cover to hit him. And then the second swing, powered by his holy energies of his voice is screaming out, "Get him! Fucking him! Fuck him up!" Glowing like a yellow light envelops his axe, and his butcher's blade hits him like right along the side of his chest.
Yeah, for sure. You slice into him, and he screams in pain and like tries to scatter back on the ground, like trying to move away from you. All right, who's up next?
I am going to cast another spell. This time it's only going to be first level. But we're gonna go ahead and cast Command again on the guy that Hank just beat the shit out of. And it's going to be Drop. And on his turn, he has to drop everything he's holding and then end his turn. Same save as before.
It's 15, you said?
Yep.
And it's a wisdom?
Yep.
1 short. He failed.
Perfect. That is going to be... Ash is going to move closer. We're going to move him... we're just going to jump across here and move over here. Just like that.
Alan's going to... Hank, could you be on one square or the other? You're on 4 of them at the moment.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Alan's gonna move over here, and he's gonna pick up that shotgun.
He's not dropped it yet. Is that his turn?
Oh, I thought... Okay, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, his turn. No,
It happens on his
All
turn.
of us going together.
Yeah, that makes interactions weird. Did we know if he failed his save or not?
Yeah, he definitely did.
He failed, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He looks like he's about to drop everything that he's holding.
Okay, then I will come over here and I will wait for him to drop it, and then I will pick it up. Can I do that?
Yeah, I'll let you hold your action for that, if you want to do that.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, Dee Dee, what are you doing?
Sorry, I was shouting at the dog. This guy, this marshal, in front of this other big burly dude is still, he's still armed, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Let's try to disarm him too. See if I can pull off a disarming shot.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, 22 to hit.
22 hits, yeah. And a disarming shot, you said?
Yep.
Is that a strength save from him?
I believe the disarming shot. Are you a battle master fighter?
So yeah, disarming shot is a thing for gunslingers. It's a class feature.
Oh, I was about to say, yeah.
I figured you were either a battle master or something else that had disarming.
No, she's just an artificer, yeah. Yeah,
No,
disarming shot's a
Looney.
specific feat that Looney has.
I mean, I feel like if I shoot somebody in the hand, though, he's gonna drop his
So,
gun, right?
targeted shots are technically not a thing in D&D 5e. What I usually rule is that depending on the difficulty of the shot, it will raise the AC of what you're trying to hit and sometimes give you disadvantage. So you can try to make that, but it kind of defeats the purpose of having those Battle Master techniques if everyone can, do that. So I make it a bit more difficult if you don't have that.
I mean, that's fair.
So it will still be a save from him then. What was your to hit?
It was 22.
Okay, I'll say a 22 will still hit, but
Because, I mean, I would like for once us to leave the planet and not kill people.
He got a nat 1 on his roll. So you will fire and split the shotgun stock in half in his hands, and he'll just kind of drop it as the wood explodes, and he loses his gun, and he starts moving to open his coat and pull out a pistol. You do anything else, Dee Dee?
Deedee's still trying to quell the violence. Don't do it. Not one more move.
Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh, well, that was only an 8.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever told a cop that you're shooting at to stop moving, but they don't.
Yeah,
Strange enough, I would like to say it doesn't happen very often.
I have been the officer with the weapon pointed at them, but irrelevant.
Okay, so he does not stop. He is instead very concerned now, as it's just the two of them against what was supposed to be just a couple armed people, now finding themselves against a room full of armed people. Is that it for you all? Aster, I'm assuming you're continuing to run over this way?
Yep.
Yeah, because Boris is still in protector mode, and I don't think I can
I'll help you out a bit.
quote-unquote fire him with
Shit.
bonus action.
Boy, I had the perfect spell for this situation.
Okay, that is the Broderick brothers' turn then. This one sees that the shotgun just got destroyed and is going to just take that pipe and keep trying to beat on this guy. Hit him so hard that he can't get to his pistol. He does get a couple hits in, and with a thunk of like meat being tenderized, the pipe goes into the marshal's stomach and he coughs and then comes down on his shoulders and hits him. He's able to keep his feet, but he is just getting the snot beaten out of him. Alright, and that is the other brother who's going to run up here and try to shoot the one that his brother is attacking, as you both are kind of covering where that other marshal is a bit. And hits with his shot almost point blank, hitting the marshal in his chest. As you all see the bullet slice cleanly through and embed in the wall behind where Flynn is just kind of cowering in a corner. That is back up to the marshal's turn. The one on the ground that just got the absolute snot beat out of him by Hank over here. Gosh, you hurt him so bad.
It's a shame that he has to drop his gun right after, too.
Yep, that's this turn for him. He kind of sees that you both have a beat on him, and he is incredibly injured, bleeding out from a massive gash in his shoulder. One of his arms just not working anymore. He drops his shotgun as that arm kind of goes limp, and as you both are standing over him, he like kind of fumbles with one shaky hand and pulls out his other pistol and throws it away, like lifting his left arm, the only one that's working right now, as he's just kind of like blubbering on the ground, bleeding a bit. But you all hear his radio squawk. You don't hear what's on the other end, some jarbled like 86 copy, like just some correspondence going on over the radio. The other one here, who has just a pistol now. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, because Alwyn picks up the shotgun.
Yeah, sure, you can. That's the only working one right now, but you do pick up the shotgun. He's going to take the disengage action and run out.
Oh, goodbye.
He's going to try to get to a place where he can get to backup. So, Aster, you see a bleeding person in a black coat that you've not seen before, running out of the bar with a pistol in hand, like looking over their shoulder, holding a spot on their side where they're bleeding, just kind of black raven hair with the rain pouring down, matting it to their head quickly as they kind of look up at you and try to clock you as a friend or foe, but unable to do anything on this turn. That is your all's turn.
I see Hank's going for the dash, or some sort
I'm just going for... Yeah. I'm doing what's called a gamer move, where I'm going to walk right by the brother say evening, and I'm gonna fucking Misty Step a second time.
Sure.
fucking DDK his ass, grab him by the waist, and fucking slam him into the ground.
I'm fucking going to grab him. Like I'm trying to like specifically grapple.
Okay, you're gonna try to go for grapple.
Yeah.
That's an opposed check. Go ahead and give me my DC.
Okay, it's athletics, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he has to beat an 18.
Okay. He gets a +5 to this, and I'll roll it in front of the board. Nat 20.
Motherfucker.
He sees you misty step, and as your body reforms, his elbow is already heading up, and he clocks you in the nose as you like reform out of the mist and continues to run. Aster, you see that this guy, like Hank, pop up behind this guy, and he goes and like checks him, and he's running towards you right now.
Oh. Boy, is he about to have some bad time. We'll be just close enough that a thunderwave centered on me is just enough to hit him, but not enough for Hank. Yeah.
Sure. What's that save?
We'll cast it at, it's a 15 con. We will cast it at second level.
He fails.
Okay, we will maximize it, and he will take 24.
24? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there is, you kind of are walking up in this torrential downpour of rain, and you see this guy running in a scuffle with Hank real quick. There's mud flying up around their feet. You pull out one of your little tomes and snap it, and there is a wave of pressure that expands around you, and you just get a moment where there's no rain, as the water or the air from the thunderwave pushes it all in a bubble away from you, and there's just that moment of like being able to see things clearly as the rain is just a bubble around you all, and then it starts falling again with the same veracity that it had before and drenches this guy as he's met with the force of it. And does it push back or anything?
Thunderwave.
It does, I think.
Unsecured objects. Yes, he is pushed back 10 feet.
He just fucking hits me a second time.
It's everything in that radius.
Is he also knocked prone or just pushed back?
Just pushed 10 feet.
Okay, well, I'll make
Gotcha.
a dex save to see if he can keep his feet. He got a 3, so I say he gets knocked prone. He is blasted by this thunderwave and picked up off his feet, and his legs just kind of windmilling for a second as he lands 10 feet away, and just with a thunk in that wet mud, his just squelching underneath him, and he just like coughs as something in his chest feels like it's ruptured. He'd been shot in his chest previously, but now he's hurt.
In the bar, Ash is going to move up right next to, not right next to, but close to this guy to hear the booming demonic voice behind him. Stand down if you value your life.
Give me a persuasion check.
Not intimidation?
Yeah, intimidation works. I forgot that intimidation was a skill.
That is one of my best skills, in fact, as I get a 22.
Nice. This guy looks incredibly injured, and he already has both his guns away. His radio is just kind of squawking to static as it was hit in the top by Hank's axe whenever he was coming through the table.
So he just kind of nods a second. Yeah, we're officers. Are you sure about this?
I'm gonna walk up the rest of my movement and kick the radio away towards Alwyn.
Yeah,
It
you
doesn't.
kick it
He'll
and it
just quickly
shatters
say,
against one of the walls already, half busted.
It doesn't matter who you are. What matters is there should be no violence here without me starting it.
He kind of gulps and shakes his head. One of his eyes, like, half closed and bloodied from a mark on his head, and he's like, all right, yeah, just don't kill me. Just wait.
That'll be it for Ash.
Alwyn?
Well, Alwyn's gonna go pick up his pistol for my free object interaction.
The radio's also there. I kicked it over to you.
I thought it was busted.
The radio isn't. We just couldn't hear what
No,
it was
the radio
saying.
is busted. Whenever you
Oh, okay.
like, it had already been cracked whenever Hank had split through the table and kicking it over at the wall. Busted the rest
Gotcha.
of
Well,
it.
now he definitely can't use it, so fuck him.
Yeah, and he just kind of keeping the shotgun leveled at him. Alwyn just kind of shakes his head and like, yeah, you just couldn't keep it in your damn pants until we got on our way, could you? And he's going to, damn. Hey, he's gonna come out here. Oh shit, I thought I got enough space. Yeah, we'll go here. And he's gonna level the shotgun so it's pointing right down at the guy's face as he's laying in the mud. And he's gonna tell him, like, you might as well just stay right down there and put your hands up all defenseless like, or I'm just gonna give you a makeover.
Give me an intimidation check. I remember that skill now. Look at me.
It's such a good skill.
Can be.
Doesn't see enough use.
That's a 21.
21. All right.
22 actually.
Okay. He is hurt and shot, and he doesn't hear his partner fighting inside the bar anymore. So he just kind of nods a bit and lets his head like rest back in the mud for a minute. He's like, all right, yeah, you got us. And Dee Dee, what are you doing?
Dee Dee kind of, wasn't really speaking to anyone directly, but in a raised voice kind of said, we didn't want to be in the middle of your crossfire to deal with anyway. And she kind of looked back at Finn and said, now, as I was saying. And she looked at Boris, and he kind of flew back and got that map she pointed at, and she slammed it on the counter, and she was like, show me where I can find the best ships on your yacht.
Is this a threat?
I mean, threatening, but...
Give me an intimidation then.
So many intimidations now.
I mean, we're scary now.
We are
We should
certainly
be
in
scary
control
now.
for now.
I don't have very high in intimidation, though, so... Yeah, I rolled a 4.
A 4? He shakes his head looking at the state of things right now, and he says, do you have... You got any idea what you all just did?
Do you have any idea what I'll do if you don't tell me?
You gotta go. There's gonna be 1 million of them around here.
Sounds like your problem.
You think you're gonna be able to get out of here with 1 million of their partners around?
She just kind of shrugged.
He shakes his head. We will drop out of initiative there as you all have the two marshals apprehended. The two Broderick brothers, one of them puts down the pipe and then they run over and start like whispering to each other. They nod and they're going to try to take off running back to their ship. They're trying to get out of here.
Oh, hold on. Where the fuck are you two going?
We got to get out of here. Are you kidding me? We just fought two marshals. They called for backup. We got to go. You all should go too. You're not safe here.
We all got a safe hole?
They're going to look between each other. Give me a persuasion check, Alwyn.
All right.
Can I try
he's gonna say that. He's gonna say that while brandishing the emblem on his pistol. See if they pick up on that.
They don't. They don't know what that means.
All right. So they are little fish then. Okay. Persuasion. Hey, I'll take that. That's a +5, so that's going to be a 24.
The bigger brother kind of looks down at the smaller one and shakes his head, but the smaller one kind of hedges for a minute, looks over at you, and then looks down at the marshal, and he nods and says, "Yeah, we got a spot. You all can come with. We gotta go though. We're heading there now, and if you're following us, you got to be on our tail. We're not gonna tell you where it's at."
Right. D-Day, time to pack it up.
Dee Dee grumbled. Fine. She kind of took Finn's map off the counter and crumbled it and threw it at him and said, "Thanks for nothing. You missed out on a lot."
I'm not about. This is gonna be so much people here. Ugh.
Good luck.
He's
Ashes.
gonna call out into the bar and say, "Ash, do you want witnesses?"
I said leave them alive. I meant it. Ash is gonna lean down and whisper to this guy. Today is your lucky day. Your soul stays away from the flame for now.
He looks visibly shaken by the threat and kind of nods, going a bit pale. Says, yeah.
I'm going to, since he is completely weaponless, or as appears to be, dart out of the bar following everyone else.
Hank's gonna turn to the last guy and say, "Oh, looks like it's your lucky day." And then he's gonna whistle for Jasper, and then he's gonna see if Jasper follows him back.
Jasper hasn't left your side pretty much the entire time. Jasper's just right beside.
Our good boy. We are. Yes, you are.
You all start running back to the ship then?
Boy, I suppose. Aster just fucking ran all the way out here.
You're not.
Now he's gonna run all the way back.
You're not bringing that mangy sewer mouth mutt on that tiny ship.
I mean, he doesn't smell that much bad.
Dang,
Yeah,
if he follows us, he's getting Eldritch Blasts until he is putty.
Killing the dog.
No more pets, Hank.
I've had a good luck with some of these pets.
Oh, pets.
It's a dog. It's just a dog. It's
No
not even
pets.
something strange. Oh.
Oh
We
no, I just thought of
already have
something.
a pet.
Yeah, did we save our space cat when we crashed the ship?
No, you did
That's
not.
fucking
Your,
dead.
your cat's dead.
The cat is more paste than fucking Sue.
You all didn't get anything off that ship.
We did not.
It was a very tense moment, I understand. Okay, so you all are running back to the ship. The two Broderick brothers are still kind of arguing, but you see that their ship is already heated up as the other three had made it back. And they go running on and say, we'll meet you in orbit. We'll come around the dock side and leave from there, but be ready to go. And they run onto their junker ship, which has a and then finally powers up after a second and takes back off. One of those engines smoking very heavily as it stutters for a second, then starts to lift up into the air. You all get onto your landing craft. Jasper comes up to where the ramp is and then sits in the mud, just wagging its tail and tilting its head at you, Hank.
I'm just going to throw him the rest of my peanut butter
You
bacon
had
while I cry.
more?
Listen, I didn't know how long I was going to be there. My pocket smelled like a fucking dog and peanut and bacon.
So you just have one
He's
pocket
not allowed near
that is
Dee Dee.
permanently coated in peanut butter
Oh
now.
yeah, I have a peanut allergy.
Yeah,
what
this
are you
is
doing,
lethal.
my guy?
Listen, it's fine as long as I don't feed Dee Dee the peanut butter.
I'm so tempted to just secretly sacred flaming this dog.
Do not kill the dog.
There's no way you can hide it, so
Oh, I didn't say
would
anything about hiding it.
You're welcome to try then.
Said I thought about it. I have better things to do, like taking out a sending stone and telling the captain to get our fucking engines revved up.
Yeah, you all board your craft and take off from the surface of this planet, heading back to the Sacrificium Soleil. You very quickly catch up to this other ship as you're leaving atmosphere, and it starts following you towards where your ship is. So the Broderick Brothers ship is currently following you all back to the Sacrificium Soleil.
Also, can anyone explain to me what the fuck happened? Oh,
Yeah, as you all get on board, you all can have that conversation on board your shuttlecraft.
It's very simple. You see,
Can I roll you anything to say that I snagged something on the way out?
Sure, what were you wanting to snag?
I've got a list of stuff that I came up with, and I know I only have to pick like one probably, but...
Sure, give me a sleight of hand check.
Nice, thank you.
you see, Hank, it's very simple. We, for once, were not the aggressors. There were two, apparently, marshals waiting in a corner, and then when those other individuals, as soon as they walked in the door, a fight broke out.
Okay, but why did we get involved?
Because I don't like the way that they looked at us. And also, and more specifically, Dee Dee was trying to get information about that planet, and they looked like the type to be involved with this planet. We learned more about the underground with its inhabitants than some police.
Yeah, but we literally just fought two peacekeepers, and they know what our face looks like.
Correction, they know what your face looks like, and Alan drops his disguised self.
Ash will also drop his disguise self once we're alone.
Dee Dee, looks like we're problematic.
Dee Dee,
And,
Dee
you
Dee
know,
crossed
same
her
with
arms.
Aster.
No, they never saw me. I never went inside.
Yeah. Oh no,
Dee Dee
you did.
crosses
You
her
thunderstruck one of them.
The one, if he saw me through if he got a good look at me through the rain,
There's,
while
yeah,
he
I would
was
say
looking
very-
behind him, dodging Hank's attack.
The only one who could have possibly been seen, like, thoroughly would have been Hank fucking smiting a guy down. But even then, I think...
Dee Dee was...
Yeah, Dee Dee would be pretty well seen.
Dee Dee
And she was just talking
her
for
arms
quite a
and
while.
scowled at you all. All I needed was a few more minutes, but you, she pointed at Halloween, you had to go flashing your gun and your insignia and everything else, making a big show of yourself.
I'm sorry, you
You-
flashed your insignia?
And
Aren't you like super pirates?
She pointed at Ash. You had to immediately go firing at everything. We could have let them sort out their own problems. We didn't have to get involved.
And then what? And then
Yeah,
we
but this
won
is-
anyway?
This is much more fun there, Short Stack. This is a good adventure.
They can explain it to the captain.
But there were so many parts on that planet. There were so many pieces of ships, and I could have made this baby look. I could have made our ship look different tomorrow.
Dee Dee,
Yeah.
think about this realistically. If we had not intervened, they would have fought, the marshals would have been called down regardless, and the planet will be warmed, regardless of which side we took.
She kind of looked out the window like a brat and said, "Then guess what? You all get to tell the captain why we don't have stuff that we need."
I will, and she will,
Yeah.
as always, understand.
Oh, that's an ash chew, and I'm used to getting my ass chewed. That's fine.
Oh, whoa.
Yes, it certainly will be an
This
ad.
is a little bit too
I'm
much
sure you
information.
are.
Dee Dee, you were able to swipe an arcane battery pack.
An arcane battery pack. Okay.
So this can actually be used as a replacement battery pack for one of your all's bikes. It's not big enough to power the shuttle that you're in, but it could power something about the size of one of those bikes. It can also be used to power up some of the weapon systems. Like, there's a lot of uses for an arcane battery like this.
I made up magic spaceship parts.
Yep. This is essentially just bonus like spell levels to whatever like mechanical thing it is added onto.
Oh, okay.
But we will smash cut from you all saying that's an ass chewing, and I'm used to getting my ass chewed, to you all getting back on the Sacrificium Soleil in a hurry with a ship tailing you, and the captain is down in the hold with her arms crossed, and said, "Why do I get the feeling you all are about to tell me you set another planet on fire?"
We did not.
It's not on fire. We are wanted.
In fact, we did not kill anyone this time. You'll be proud to learn.
I started it.
Alright, let's hear it.
Ash quickly explains, there were two marshals sitting in a bar. They were waiting for some group known as the, I forget the name, the B Brothers?
Broderick Brothers.
Broderick Brothers. They seem associated with whatever that cantina, tavern, whatever you may call it. The marshals were there to jump that group, and I took the executive decision of siding against the marshals, hoping that we could stop them and potentially interrogate them, and with a little bit of good luck, maybe get some information from those scrappy young individuals. Unfortunately, the marshals immediately called for backup, but we gave them a good thwapping before we left.
So, just so I'm clear, there were marshals there for people not us, and why did we get involved?
Because
Great
we...
question.
That's a great question, Captain.
Because,
I didn't mean to roll
Captain,
my R, but
they were individuals who seemed like they would have known this planet well, good spots for trade or scavenging, and if they were going to be jumped anyway, this entire sector is going to be swarmed regardless. If we were going to have to either show no intervention or choose a side, I would rather have these scavengers be allies or potential partners in the brief time we are here.
With that being said, the intercom perks up, and who was the crew member that was helping out on the helm again? Is that Lash?
Maybe. Probably.
No, Jackson was the one helping.
It was a guy.
We'll say Lash. Whatever. There's someone on board that is... the captain was up there, so she just left Lash up there for a minute. He goes, Captain, we got someone on the comms. And Captain kind of... all right. Let's go see what trouble you all got us into. And you all quickly go back up. You see that the Broderick Brothers ship has caught up and is now in front, and they're radioing, saying, you all gotta come right now. Let's go. Let's go. And the captain looks over at you all with like a fucking really look.
I give her a thumbs up.
As she sits back down, takes the helm, and starts following behind this cruddy little ship as you all take off from this planet and head somewhere off in this planetary system. You travel for the better part of an hour or two as you flesh out the rest of the story to the captain and everything, and kind of get all the details of what actually happened ironed out. Hank, you are covered with fleas. Like, they're all over you, and it's starting to itch now that you're out of the rain.
Yeah, I'm going straight to the fucking shower, and I'm using as much lay on hands to get rid of the goddamn fleas.
I imagine
And by lay on hands, I mean I'm setting myself on fire, and then I'm going to lay on hands.
I can help with that.
I would like anyone else.
Ash is like, yes, please.
Burning hands? Don't mind if I do.
I think we all need a bath after that place.
At least a tetanus shot.
You all go and get cleaned up a bit, as you all kind of stink, regardless of how much time you spend. Like, just being in the mud of that place smelled bad. But as you all are getting cleaned up, you are led into an asteroid belt, kind of between the 5th and 6th planets of this system. And, yeah, go ahead.
I am having to be on the assigned stations, so the gunners and their guns.
Yeah, you call General at Arms.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone is on their stations and on alert, just kind of excited to be under pressure more than anything again. So they're all a bit jumpy, but in higher spirits now as you all are taking off. You go through a pretty complicated path. Your ship is much bigger than theirs, so there are some tight squeezes, but the captain is very proficient at piloting, and she'll roll for it. Why not? That is a 22. She's able to get you all through the asteroid field, like, pretty easily, just kind of dipping and diving around stuff as you all follow them to a slightly bigger asteroid that you enter a crater in, right behind where the Broderick Brothers ship is, and you all pull up into a very small, looks like an abandoned, like, mining outpost that has been repurposed, with, like, a couple docking stations and stuff like that. And you all get onto the main bridge of the Sacrificium Soleil, and the captain sighs as you all pull up and kind of dock to this station and says, "Alright, so let's go talk to these people, see what's up. I am still not totally sold on this whole us being wanted people in this system. So unless we can grab something easy, I say we take off from here and try to find someplace else." Sound good?
Sounds fine.
Oh, they were such nice-looking people.
She,
Going to hit
like,
these
raises
fucking
her
peanut butter
eyebrows.
Oreos.
And she's like, yeah. Alright, let's go. And she goes to disembark and join the Broderick Brothers on their station. And that is where we will call it for the night, folks.
Wahoo!
What? It's all.